Hi there. I'm just going to provide a quick side-by-side comparison of EnableAll versus accessiBe's accessibility apps. So I've got both apps open here in front of me, and on the surface of it, they look very similar in that both offer a toolbar where customers can change how they see the site according to their different accessibility preferences, which we'll go into the different functionalities of in a moment. But the underlying technology of both the apps is actually very different. So what accessiBe offer is this access widget tool, where once installed and a customer uses it, it is changing how the site works for a screen reader user or a keyboard-only user at this kind of widget or overlay level. What EnableAll is doing is actually taking things a step further, where it's fixing the key WCAG accessibility gaps at code level. So what it is doing is actually adding alt text to images at code level, so in your Shopify CMS, rather than at the widget kind of overlay level, which leads to better SEO, better AI discovery, but also a more compliant site that helps screen reader customers to better navigate the site in the process. They also fix things like ARIA labels for buttons and interactive elements like links at the code level, and they also add labels to form fields at code level. In addition, they're also adding fixes for keyboard-only users, such as inserting skip links so that customers don't get stuck in repetitive menus, and also fixing the layout for a keyboard-only user. And these are all things that accessiBe may do, but tends to do it all at the widget or overlay level. And the challenge with that is that it doesn't improve the site's accessibility as an accessibility checker would read it. And therefore, these lawyers that are raising claims against companies can easily see that these fixes aren't actually there at the code level. And that's why there are some real challenges with clients of these overlay tools that are actually getting suits against them. Whereas what EnableAll is doing is fixing these at code level, which leads to stronger compliance improvements, less development work, but also it enhances your SEO and as a result, your AI discoverability as well, because search engines and LLMs prefer more accessible sites. In addition, there's some big differences in the toolbars and the ways the functionality works. So first of all, you'll see there's kind of similar capabilities with regards to changing font sizes and text styles. So the ability to change to kind of accessiBe offer the option to change to a more readable font, just offering one font option there. EnableAll offer a dyslexia-friendly font and a legible font. Both apps offer the ability to change the size of the text. EnableAll have gone quite simple in how we want to do that to make it really accessible for our end users. So we just offer options of kind of original, medium, and large. Whereas what accessiBe do is offer this, what I feel is quite complicated content scaling, where you can kind of change things incrementally. But actually, when you're changing it to just 20%, that's not always creating a more compliant combination. Whereas the EnableAll features will only change it to something that is in line with the WCAG requirements. So we're offering less options, but making sure those options are what WCAG require a company to do. You've also got capabilities to change the colors of the site. And this is a really important area where Enable will differentiate from accessiBe. So both apps offer the ability to change the contrast to kind of a higher contrast mode. What EnableAll have done is create a very complicated color contrast algorithm that makes sure that the balance of the contrast is optimum for AA and even AAA compliance, but it still maintains a brand's look and feel. So it just makes very subtle changes to ensure the contrast is optimum, but the brand stays intact. Whereas most apps in the market kind of do a more kind of blanket high contrast where they heavily reduce the whites and heavily increase the darks. And that can lead to, as you can see here, kind of blurring of the edges. Both offer a dark contrast mode, so a dark mode, which you can see here. And the way that a lot of apps in the market do it will invert the colors, which EnableAll has endeavored not to do it that way, because it actually kind of impacts the brand look and feel, but it's also not necessarily accessible. So we've gone for maximum accessibility here. And in addition, a really big feature is that both apps allow the customers to change the colors of the background and the text. But what accessiBe do is they allow a customer to only choose from quite a dark palette, which actually doesn't really lead to many accessible combinations. So you can choose red text, dark red text on a dark red background, which, as you can see, is quite hard to read. It actually even allows a customer to choose an entirely inaccessible combination where you can change the text to the same color as the titles and the backgrounds. EnableAll have thought really hard about this functionality and why it's a requirement. And we've worked really hard to make sure that customers cannot choose inaccessible combinations. So first of all, we offer a greater range of color palette, but we also offer only lighter colors. And these are taken from the kind of dyslexia-friendly color palettes, as well as offering a few darker mode options. And when a customer chooses a color, we will only let them choose a text or a button color that directly contrasts with the background color that they have chosen. So it even gives them guidance on the contrast levels, so that it's a AA and even meets AAA standards, which we always try to achieve if we can. And when a customer applies that, what they're seeing here is the website changed into their preferred colors and with high contrast combinations only, which is really important because it helps the customers, but it also makes sure our clients are more compliant with the ADA and EAA that require brands to follow WCAG guidelines. Then EnableAll also has some greater visual adjustment options. accessiBe offer the option to hide images. EnableAll offer the option to separately enhance the image colors, change the image colors to black and white, and also soften the image colors, as well as hiding images. And they even offer this customizable preview where you can change this image to something that is relevant to your brand guidelines to enable the customer to see what the image preview looks like. Next, you've got kind of some of the core functions that are there to help people with different disabilities and neurodivergence to change how they use the site. And just comparing a few of the key features here. So accessiBe has put a lot of theirs at the bottom. Both tools have the option to stop animations. EnableAll has made sure this goes at the top because it's a really important critical feature. Someone who has epilepsy or vertigo really needs to be able to access it quickly. Both features on the surface of it seem to function similarly, but actually EnableAll's capability handles more file types than other overlays in the market because there are lots of different file types that animations might be used in. So we've covered greater ground there. So one of the challenges is that some brands might use animation language in their navigation. And when a customer clicks stop animations, that will break the navigation for that customer. So EnableAll has worked very hard to make sure our app doesn't get impacted by navigation animation and that we work around it to ensure the navigation doesn't break, because that's obviously a really critical buying function. And we've been really excited to have people even reach out to us on Instagram and others platforms to say that they are really excited to use our tool. They suffer with either epilepsy or vertigo, and they often have to stop animations. And sometimes that can completely break their ability to use the site. But they're really excited that with EnableAll, that doesn't happen. Which we're very proud about. In addition, you'll see some additional functionalities on our platform. So simplified text is the ability to click on text and see it simplified into a grade 9 level reading language, which makes it really easy for a customer to read. Apps like accessiBe, they were trying something out. I can't currently see it on their app. It didn't have as much kind of narrative flow and ease of reading as ours. It did simplify the language, but not as seamlessly. They do have a dictionary feature, which we are planning to build, where the customer can search a word. So that's kind of been their equivalent. So the other capability EnableAll have is the ability to read out text. So a customer can click on a block of text and
search engines and LLMs prefer websites with code level accessibility, driving more traffic to your store.
So you can see that's read out in a really nice, clear human language. The customer has the option to skip, replay, also enable continuous reading, so it will just keep reading down the page. accessiBe, I don't think offer read out text or any kind of speech to text capability. So Enable will also offer the ability to click on text and translate it into sign language, which is one of our most used features. So a customer can click text and see an AI sign language pop up to help them to easily understand the message. And we offer it in British Sign Language and American Sign Language, and we're adding different languages all the time. Both apps offer the ability to mute sounds, which is important for someone with a screen reader. They need to be able to focus just on the content. Enable will offer video captions, which ensures that customers who want captions on video can click that, and it will really quickly and seamlessly add captions to every video, which is not something accessiBe currently offer. Another feature unique to EnableAll is this declutter content. So a customer with ADHD or autism may get overwhelmed by extra content. And what declutter content does is, on this kind of you may also like section, it enables them to remove all the kind of superfluous ad content that might overwhelm and confuse them, just to focus on the content that they require. Both apps do disable styling. So accessiBe call it read mode, disable styling at EnableAll. One thing that a lot of platforms do, and I haven't gone into detail on accessiBe in particular, but we've seen it a lot, is when they have this readable single page view that some customers may prefer, the add to cart button doesn't work. And that's a really important function, obviously, for a retail journey. So we've made sure that add to cart and buy it features always work, even when styling is disabled. Enable will also offer this screen mask capability, where customers can apply a visual tint on top of the screen. They can change the opacity and the color. It's not something many other tools offer. We also offer a reading guide, which is something a lot of tools offer. The ability to kind of have like a highlight section is called Reading Mask on accessiBe's, whereas we work with an accessibility expert to clarify that this is better called Reading Guide. And then Reading Ruler is a line that shows across the page where a customer can use it to help them focus on the words they're looking at. This is something that accessiBe called Reading Guide. accessiBe offer just a single reading guide, which is blue and black and short. Enable will offer the option for the customer to choose whether they prefer a short or a long guide. They can change the height because they may prefer to put it over the words that they're reading. They can also change the color and the opacity of the fill and the outline. So they've kind of got a range of customization options where we make sure that the default that we offer is also highly accessible. You've also got on both apps the ability to change the color and size of the cursor. So accessiBe offer just big black or white cursor, as you can see. If I just change out of reset settings. So both apps offer the ability to change the size of the cursor, where accessiBe offer kind of a large white or a large black cursor. Both ensure that the correct cursor behavior is used when hovering over a button, which is that it changes to a hand, which is not something all accessibility apps do, which can confuse users. Enable will offer this, but they also offer the ability to change the color of the cursor with a few kind of clear options here or a full color palette. And again, they use the correct cursor behavior when someone hovers over a button, which is important. Enable will offer an additional feature to click on hover, which is that people with motor impairments may struggle to click with a mouse. So if they are hovering over a button, after a certain amount of time, it will click on the button to open that item for them. Both apps have the option to highlight hovers, highlight links. Enable has worked hard to make sure that our highlight hover kind of deploys the same color of the brand styling on the page. We always want to put our client's branding first. accessiBe appears to use a single color regardless of what site you are on, which seems to often be orange. Whereas Enable, you see it's purple there, and with another app here, it's gone blue to match the colors of the site. And similar for our highlight links feature as well. Image reader is also a feature that's unique to EnableAll. So one of the challenges is that when text is embedded within an image, people with contrast challenges may struggle to read the text. So with EnableAll, what you can do is hover over an image and screenshot it, and it will bring up the picture of the text that is shown within that image. accessiBe offer this useful links section, which is something that EnableAll are planning to build through a page navigation window. This actually offers quite a lot of links. So we've just designed a version for that enables people, to see the header structure of the page, and then separately to see the links, and making sure the links and their purpose is very clear and easy to navigate. So we're really excited by our plans for that feature. And I think that covers most things. Just a quick thing on the interface here. So having buttons without a background can actually be less accessible. So we've made sure that we put backgrounds around all of our buttons, and also that we have labels or information pop-ups that help someone understand exactly what a feature does, so they can really easily understand if it's going to be useful for them. accessiBe offer this profiles feature at the top, which is something that we've worked with accessibility experts to review very carefully, because not every disability requirement is the same, even within a category. So at the moment, we give customers these options to choose the features that they want to use, and we're looking at an enhanced customer profiles view, but it's not a strict WCAG requirement at the moment. So we also offer, both tools offer the option to reset settings. EnableAll make it clear that you can access our accessibility menu by pressing Shift+E. Some clients may not use our widget, which is a great thing about the fact that we have our code fix and our widget as separate capabilities. Another thing EnableAll offer is also, it can be really hard for a customer to actually, on a keyboard only, to actually access the widget on a page, because they often end up kind of at the bottom of the page. EnableAll enable our clients to choose where the widget goes. But we also have this header banner that a customer can enable at the top. So you can define that is only visible to customers that have used the widget, or only visible to customers that choose to see it, so that we make sure you put your brand first. We know you don't want a header banner for every customer visiting your site. But it is very helpful to customers who need it and are on a keyboard only, because it means they can access the widget as the first thing on the page, but they can also easily see what features they have enabled and easily kind of deactivate them from this bar at the top of the page. We also offer a give feedback option, which is quite important. We've understood from a legal point of view. So it gives customers the option to give you feedback on any issues they have before they take it further via a lawsuit. I can't see give feedback on accessiBe. Both tools generate an accessibility statement, and I believe both tools are customizable to your brand. So thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please get in touch. We'd love to show you more. We have a detailed webpage that explains how we differ to the different apps in the market, but we'd always love to hear from people looking to learn more. So feel free to get in touch, and we hope this video has been really helpful. You can also download EnableAll from the Shopify App Store to give it a test out yourself. So feel free to do that. And if you have any challenges, again, feel free to get in touch. Thank you so much.